Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. Well, the broad beans are ready. Let's pick them and see how we go. I've forgotten about them for quite a while, so it's full of weed and it's not the most attractive space, but there's life in it. And let's see what we find as sustainable food. I can feel the weight before I even touch them. The pods are full and thick and velvet inside, like they're holding something precious. And they are. These small moments, these quiet harvests, they matter. Again, I don't do this for show. I do it because it reminds me of who I am when no one's watching. Yeah, okay, the phone's filming me doing this right now, but my hands are working like they always have. This is my kind of protest, growing something and tending to it, and sharing it gently with whoever needs to see it.
Cabbages will be exposed.
The world will keep on keeping on, fast, loud, demanding. But here in the garden, something slower is always possible. It's space to breathe, it's space to remember, it's space to enjoy my thoughts, think back. When I was a kid, and we played out and we were free, I remember those days. Children don't do it now. They're told to stay in the bedroom. They're on their Xbox, they're on the computers. But in our days, we didn't have those gadgets. We might have had a record player or a tape recorder, but our days were spent outside. I remember when the ball went too far, not because something happened, but because we all froze for a second and we weren't sure. Yeah, there were dogs. Dogs played out in those days just like the children. People let the dogs leave the house and the dog came back by itself at tea time, just like the children did. The dogs roamed the streets in packs or alone, and that's what the children did, but the children were always in groups. Some dogs were old, some would bark, but they didn't come to bite, they came to watch us playing. And some of us used to smile, and the odd one of us would cry just a little. But even then, there was no blame. We held space for each other as kids, even without realising it. Childhood was like that. You can have two memories from the same moment, and each one can be true in its own way. Some people will look back and remember they didn't like dogs because someone they knew got bitten. I never got bitten, and I remember it. Maybe through rose-tinted glasses, I enjoyed seeing the dogs roaming free. I enjoyed the freedom we had, although we didn't realise it at the time. We'd walk home together, we'd share the ball or the toy we were playing with, and we'd be talking about something else by the time we reached the road. They were strange days. They were free, they were happy. There were times when there were problems, but the majority of the time, kids were just happy. But we were free. They were crazy days. Do any of you remember playing out all day and just coming back if you needed a drink or if there was a problem, and then you'd be straight back out the door again? And if there were days when you didn't play out, I remember my dad saying to me, "Why aren't you out playing with all the other kids? The sun's cracking the flags and you're not out playing." And it'd be clearly something wrong if you weren't out playing, because that's what we did all day, every day. We went out playing. We'd scrape lolly ice sticks on the floor. We'd play a lalio. We'd play hide and seek. And we'd make games up. We'd create them and make them up. We had nothing really. We'd have holes in our shoes and no one would criticise. You could have dirt on your face or on your clothing or a hole in your clothing, and not one person would criticise, because they'd look and they'd go, well, they wouldn't even observe it because others would too. Nowadays the children are so pristine, the latest fashion, and crease free within an inch of their life. It wasn't like that then. No one cared how you looked. No one cared if you'd combed your hair, brushed your teeth, washed your face. When you got home, your mum cared. Get your teeth brushed before bed, make sure you had a wash or you were having a bath that night. But the kids on the street didn't care. Other adults didn't look and observe and say you were a dirty child because you'd been playing out and you had a mucky face. That only matters when you got home to your mum. But these days, a child can fall on the floor and catch some dirt on the hand and rub it on the face by accident, and people would look and stare if a child had a dirt mark on the clothing or a dirt mark on the face. It's unacceptable now to have a hole in your shoe. It's unacceptable to have a dirty mark on your shoe, on your clothing, on your face. Things are so different now. It's crazy. We'd take one drink between 8 of us and everybody would share that drink. There'd be the odd person who'd wipe the top of the bottle before they drank, but most people would just grab that bottle and swig straight after you had, and it wasn't an issue. Now, if you see a family out, everyone has got their own water bottle, their own juice bottle, the separate drinks. No one shares anything. When we were younger, a new kid could come and play, and you'd never seen them before. You didn't know who they were, but they were still welcome to drink from the same bottle you were all drinking from. Someone had managed to get some dilute orange juice, so for a treat we didn't just have plain water that day. We'd have a bit of dilute orange juice in the drink, and it was a big treat. You know, today children are actually paying £1 or more for a bottle of juice to buy from the shop, and in effect it's just a bottle of blackcurrant dilute juice. I find it unfathomable. Why would teenagers, young adults pay for dilute juice at that astronomical price these days? Years ago it was pennies and we enjoyed it as a big treat. Now they're not drinking drinks at home. They're going to the shop and paying a fortune because it's overly strong. It's not diluted properly. And they want the sugar and they're prepared to pay. They're not looking for a fizzy drink, some are. They're buying thick, concentrated, so-called dilute juice for a fortune. I don't know, these memories are bizarre. I'm going to have to close and end this video. I'm going to sit here for a while and think about my memories today. But whilst I'm uploading this video, I've made a coffee. The cup's quite big, but not overly big. And I'm thinking of everything this year's held. Some grief, some anger, but also sweetness, laughter and warmth. And more resilience than I thought I'd ever have. I don't have to be loud to be powerful. I don't have to explain why I'm feeling soft. This, the growing, the walking, the quiet filming and green light, this is enough for me right now, and I think it's beautiful. It's just real life, and I'm at that stage where memories mean so much to me because of the chaos in the world right now. But I'm not disconnected from that chaos. I'm aware of it. I'm keeping my toe in the water. I'm aware of what's going on. I just choose not to be so loud in the chaos or too active in the chaos. and I just want to enjoy the way life should be. For me, anyway. Let me know, do you feel the same? Is the chaos too loud for you at the moment? Are you stepping back and remembering a slower pace, remembering the happiness when everything wasn't so angry and miserable and low frequency as what we're being spoon-fed today? The frequency needs to be lifted, and I keep going into the quietness of the thoughts and the aloneness to enjoy that frequency, because the chaos that's taking place in the world today, the frequency is too high-pitched, it's too negative, and I want a calmer, freer, more relaxing pace. Thank you for coming today. Please take care. Please remember you're loved, and I'll speak to you soon. Enjoy the end of the video. Bye-bye.